This is the agrarian country, and there were a lot of movements here. If you can pick up in the last 100 years, you'll find a lot of movements. But every organization was working independently. It failed. Movements failed because the government actually crushed the movements. After Mandsaur, when 6 farmers were killed there, 5 by police firing and 1 in the jail or police station, whatever it was, we got together. Today we have 203 farming organizations under one umbrella called All India Kisan Sangharsh Coordination Committee. After having gone to the length and breadth of the country, had about 400 to 500 meetings in the country, we decided that wherever we go, the language may be different, but everybody wants the loans to be waived. They're all in debt. They all say that their loans have been there on their heads because they haven't got the minimum support price, which has been suppressed by the government to keep the middle class happy and the consumers happy. They don't even get the production cost. So we have made 2 bills now. We have placed them in the parliament as private member bills. We are telling the parties to support us. 21 parties across the board have supported us on that. We have told the President of India that if for the GST you can have a session at midnight, why can't you have a session to clear these bills for agrarian society, especially when 3.5 lakh people in the country have died by committing suicide. Now these bills are already there. We want now, on 30th of November, after 2 days of long march, on 28th and 29th of November, on 30th, lakhs and lakhs of farmers from all over the country are going to descend to Delhi and tell the government, Mr. Modi, here we come. Please fix up these bills, clear these bills, pass these bills, put us out of debt and clear the path for agriculture to yet again survive, because today farmers' children are not in agriculture. Today agriculture is a dead topic. Nobody wants to farm. Therefore what we need to do as such is we need to tell the world that agrarian society of India is going to ensure that every citizen respects farmers who give them food.
Right now I don't think these are the present movements are autonomous grassroots based movements. These are mostly being led by probably by NGOs, by rights bodies, these kind of things. But they are able to mobilize farmers basically around this thing that I should have a 50% return over my costs. Somewhere it has sort of struck a chord, and today's farmers know that their return should also include their family labor. They have some idea that their labor is not being compensated. Those and that kind of a thing, and they know that their land has alternative uses. They know that their land is not just equivalent to say 8 paddy crops or 8 this thing. So they know that there is more value in converting acres into square feet. So I think the awareness is more, and definitely I think it is going to have this is not. This is going to definitely have some kind of an impact in the elections, and I think it will be more adverse for the ruling party. And I think certain communities have definitely moved away from BJP, having supported it very strongly, so whether it is the Jats, whether it is the Patidars, whether it is the Kapus, whether it is the Marathas, I see definitely they going against the ruling party, because the aspirations were set so high, and given the kind of economic downturn India is facing, and not just in agriculture but also in industry, in manufacturing. So you see the crisis really in small towns, in these places. So many farmers have spent lakhs in educating their children, in private engineering colleges, etc., and they not getting placements. I think this is going to play out very adversely, and I believe that ultimately in voting behaviors, definitely economics makes a lot of difference. And I don't believe that the people who voted for Modi didn't vote didn't vote because of economic reasons. So I think the kind of hope which he inspired and what has really happened on the ground, I think it is definitely going to have an impact.
I have spent the last decade studying India's agricultural markets, and particularly looking at the evolution of mandis in Madhya Pradesh, and today I'm also expanding this to look at agricultural markets in Punjab, Orissa and Bihar. And I think one of the things that's most striking about the Indian agricultural market context is its extraordinary diversity, complexity and dynamism. The big, in some senses, tragedy of the way in which we talk about agricultural policy is that we've reduced it to, something called APMC reforms, or when we talk about mandis, we just use the word mandi as if it refers to a common entity. But a sabzi mandi in Bihar is completely different from the ways in which a large grain mandi or a grain market in Punjab is organized, right? The relationship between the market and the state in Madhya Pradesh and Punjab are quite different from that between even Madhya Pradesh and Bihar. And what you see is not only inter-district variation, interstate variation, you see intra-district variation. The blocks that I worked in this one district in Madhya Pradesh, markets operated very differently. So we are really talking about markets that are very sensitive to agroecological dimensions, to political economic dimensions and to commodity specific dynamics.